Good evening. After events in Dublin on Wednesday, we were looking for a smile to return to the face of football today in the FA Cup fifth round. Much anticipation at White Hart Lane for Spurs against Southampton. The likes of Klinsmann and Le Tissier on show. At Molineux, there were 28,000, the biggest crowd of the season, paying record receipts for First Division Wolves against Premiership strugglers Leicester. And at Vicarage Road, Watford fans were also looking for a win over Premiership opposition in the shape of Crystal Palace. Well, those are our three main games, and we'll have brief highlights of QPR against Millwall and the goals from the day's Premiership matches. Gary and Alan are with us tonight. Well, I suppose the real priorities for Wolves and Leicester are in the league. Wolves desperate to go up, Leicester trying to avoid the drop. But today that was all forgotten, and the aim was a place in the last 8 of the Cup. Our commentator at Molineux, John Motson.
The magnificent new Molineux is a ground for the future, but Wolves never forget their past. And in one of the luxurious rooms below, there's on display the ball and the programme from the 1949 FA Cup final between the two teams who meet here today. Wolves on that occasion beat Leicester 3-1. But Graham Taylor's modern team is still below full strength. Joining the absentees, Paul Blade suspended and Neil Emblin injured. So there are places for Mark Venus and Tom Bennett. Steve Bull's reserve team comeback was bugged by flu. So Ireland's goal scorer David Kelly continues in partnership with Don Goodman. Leicester give a debut to number 18 Gary Parker, signed from Aston Villa, and they have Mark Robbins, their £1 million man from Norwich, in attack. Number 34 Mike Galloway is on loan from Celtic, and it will be interesting to see whether he does a man-to-man marking job on Wolves' most influential player, Gordon Cowans. Referee Robbie Hart from Darlington starts another cup tie at Molineux, and the excitement from the last one 10 days ago has hardly died down. But after Sheffield Wednesday in the penalty shootout comes another Premiership side, all in blue, Leicester City. Whitlow. 28,000 tickets sold, that's capacity here. 3,000 Leicester supporters. And there's the man whose final penalty put Wolves into this round, Don Goodman. Rankin. Sorted out by the new man, Parker. Here's Draper. On again by Galloway. This is Thompson. It's good movement by Parker, and Leicester have got a good attack going here. Calmest man around, Paul Jones, in both those matches in the last round, and very much the hero. There's Jimmy Willis, now Gordon Cowans is away from Galloway there, offside given. It wasn't Dennison on the left who the ball was played towards, it was Goodman in the middle who was flagged. That was the first time Cowans has got away from Galloway. Bustled off the wall there. This is Rankin. Now it's Andy Thompson. And it goes towards Kelly, and Bennett followed up. I think the chance had gone by the time he was impeded. Referee had a look and said no. Tom Bennett, I think, had lost control and was then jarred by the man coming in. Here's Kelly. Wolves fans hopeful, and I think the challenge was fair enough by Hill on Bennett. So Jack Hayward, whose lavish outlay built this sparkling new stadium at Molineux, but whose great ambition is to see Wolves in the Premier League. Roberts flicking it on. For an offside there, Leicester, it never came. That's Goodman, and it's come off the defender, and the goalkeeper has to be quick. Only half got it, but help was on hand, and Dennison was close. Kevin Poole not happy with those in front of him here. It was Simon Grayson initially. De Wolf is almost on the goal line. Kelly's there too. Law is further back. It's a very windy afternoon. There's paper blowing all around the pitch at one end. Venus. Huge roar welling up from the Wolves fans. Dennison's out left. Mark Venus. Oh, spilled. Kelly. David Kelly showing some concern for Kevin Poole, who spilled the shot by the former Leicester man, Mark Venus. It ran loose again, but the defender stepped in. Well, Kevin Poole, born not far from here at Bromsgrove, certainly getting a taste of the local action there. I must say the top surface on parts of this pitch looks to me bumpy and bobbly, and that may have had something to do with the way that shot came back off him. Look, there's not much grass around there. Mark Venus drives it, and it comes back off the goalkeeper twice, in fact. That's Robbins. Away by Venus. This is Kelly. Now it's open up on the left-hand side. The ball towards Dennison was intercepted by Grayson. Parker. Robbins made the move. Grayson continued his run, number 2. Back into Robbins. It's Rankin who's down. And I know all about injuries at Molineux. They've had 8 players now under the surgeon's knife this season. And Stephen Froggatt, the winger, was announced today, has got to go back into hospital. Graham Taylor's pleased his man's all right, Rankin, but I often wonder what happened to the FIFA directive about taking players off the field for treatment. Perhaps not in a case like that anyway. That's forward by Parker. This is Steve Thompson. And Grayson working it up to Galloway. Oh, it's a good dummy by David Kelly. Took him beautifully away from Willis. This is Goodman. Kelly's continued his run in the centre. He's the only one who's there at the moment. Kelly! Fantastic goal! Absolutely brilliant goal! Well, you won't see a better one in the FA Cup unless you're very, very lucky. Look at this. He sells Willis on the dummy, David Kelly, and supplies the pass that gets the move going. Now then, while Goodman's going down the right, Kelly's sprinting up the middle. And when the cross comes in, it's a diving header. Wonderful goal by a man who used to play for Leicester, but now puts them one behind in the 35th minute of this cup tie, and makes up perhaps some of the disappointment he must have felt when that international was abandoned, Ireland leading by his goal. It was a good goal on Wednesday. It was a superb goal today. Well, they know their football at Molineux, but Graham Taylor will be proud that his team have put a goal there in any Hall of Fame. Here comes Roberts with Willis. Oof. Well, the first half lasted 51 minutes. Record gate receipts today at Molineux of £237,000, and it must have been worth every penny to see that goal by David Kelly. It was surprising, it was startling, and you could also call it sensational. And it gives Wolves a half-time lead. That goal by Kelly was the first Leicester had conceded in the FA Cup this season. They'd beaten Enfield and Portsmouth in previous rounds. Here's Rankin, and there's Kelly again. This is Andy Thompson. Rankin. Simon Grayson. Gavin Ward, who began the season as number one, is back in goal now for Leicester because Kevin Poole is suffering from double vision following an early collision with David Kelly. This is Draper. He's appealing for a free kick and he gets it. And Steve Thompson places the ball. Whitlow's made a move over on the far side, being marked by De Wolf. Now Colin Hill goes up as well. Here's Draper. Oh, he's turned Cowans, and there's the pullback, and it should have been 1-1. That was Leicester's best chance. And Mark Robbins, Ewan Roberts holds his head because Mark Robbins had the opportunity. It's Draper going round Gordon Cowans and tucking it back. And under challenge, Robbins put it over. Well, Mark McGee must reflect there with Colin Lee on a chance missed. One or two of these Leicester lads still getting to know each other, but they all know where Draper can be found. Roberts and Robbins are waiting, and Law decides to do the simple thing. Draper again. Just behind him is Gary Parker. This is Grayson. Good ball. Parker. A better start here to the second half by Leicester. They're nagging away a bit at the Wolves' defence here. Oh, and it was Willis who came in on Parker's flick. One of those you have to take first time. He got the power, but couldn't keep it down. It's Gary Parker who runs across here for the flick on, and Willis volleys far too high. But they have created two openings, good openings, in the opening 6 minutes of the second half, Leicester. Huge kick, and it's awkward too for Leicester. Only out to Rankin from Colin Hill. Here comes Kelly again. Leicester still can't really get it away. That's Bennett to Thompson. Oh, good ball by Kelly. Goodman. Floater. Good save. Good reactions. Gavin Ward. Very good effort from John Goodman, this. Flicked into him by Kelly. And that's an appreciation of where the keeper is. Corner. De Wolf is forward and so is Law. On again, composed. Well, he's all action, Don Goodman, isn't he? Striker with whom fans can easily identify, and that's quite a tall order at Molineux when they've been used to Steve Bull all these years. Robbins driven away by De Wolf, but this is Grayson. Galloway. Robbins is there again. It's a good turn by Mark Robbins. Well, that's what he was very good at, certainly at Manchester United, and then later at Norwich. Low point of balance, and he found a yard. Kelly. In by Dennison. Oh, it's Rankin! Good save by Gavin Ward. That may have kept Leicester in the cup. And Mark Rankin knows that he should really have scored. Sliced by the defender, no cover, but a good stop with the right foot as the shot went across him from Rankin. So, a corner to Wolves. De Wolf and Law are forward again. Well, the reserve goalkeeper, the substitute goalkeeper, certainly doing his bit there. Not for the first time, as it happens. In it goes from Dennison. Kelly can't get there. Crowd thought he was pulled, but the referee didn't. Kick straight to Dennison. This is Goodman. He's got Kelly coming down to his left. Still Goodman, used him as a decoy. Oh, again the goalkeeper. Three good stops from Gavin Ward, and Don Goodman denied by the goalie for the second time. Used Kelly brilliantly. Saw him go to the left, put over the ball, hit it with his right. Good stop. Corner far side, Gordon Cowans. Bennett in the 6-yard box this time. Law coming in. Booming atmosphere inside Molineux. And the right sort as well. Draper. Well won. Oh, what a good ball from Rankin to Kelly. Kelly's away. Goodman to his left. He waited, has the chance gone? Goodman, oh no, it has now. It was a smashing ball from Mark Rankin in the first place. A real defence splitter. He's played as well as anybody for Wolves, the number 7. Here's Goodman. Dennison. Free kick. Rankin provided a lovely through ball for Kelly a moment ago, and he has been a real success today for Wolves on the right-hand side. Now then, Kelly and Goodman are waiting. Rankin is just behind them. The centre-backs haven't gone up this time. Venus. And it comes off Whitlow for a corner. Into the last 5 minutes. Wolves still have the lead. They could have made it 2 a moment ago if Kelly could have finished that, what Rankin started. Oh, and did Goodman get a touch? Not significantly. But this is Andy Thompson. It took a deflection off a defender. Had Gavin Ward scrambling, actually, from Andy Thompson's shot. Yes, it catches Galloway. Corner to Wolves. Gordon Cowans is back in, that's Dennison. Defender's touch. Corner. A smile on the face of Gavin Ward because Colin Hill was the man who nicked it past him as Robbie Dennison floats it in. It's the Leicester captain. Corner far side. Law comes in. Oh, that's a defender as well. I'm not too sure it isn't Colin Hill again. Cowans curls it in viciously, and it's off the back of Colin Hill. Corner again. This is all passing valuable time for Wolves, it might be said, whether they score or not. Well, they haven't scored. And Leicester know that it's going to be a last-ditch effort now if they're going to force a replay at Filbert Street. And there goes Draper. Wolves were caught a bit. Mark Robbins in the middle, so is Roberts. Draper's cross. Oh! And the crowd are rather incensed with the referee. They can't find out where all the stoppage time is coming from. They really can't. Graham Taylor must be wondering if we're still going to be playing tomorrow, but we're not, because Wolves are in the 6th round of the FA Cup for the 2nd year running. His first at Molineux, thanks to a majestic goal by David Kelly in the 35th minute, which will long be remembered. In the second half, Leicester had 1 or 2 opportunities, but then their substitute goalkeeper, Gavin Ward, saved them on at least 3 occasions. So it's Ensley League through, and rather like Sheffield Wednesday, Leicester go out at Molineux.
Well, different sort of match, I suppose, to Sheffield Wednesday in many ways, Graham, but a satisfying result again for you.
Yeah, well, a very good result, and the only result that matters in cup football. You know, we're through to the next round, and that's the most important thing, of course.
Well, I thought we deserved something out of the game. From my point of view, I was very disappointed with the goal that we lost. Really what happened was we were trying to introduce a certain style of play, and at that point we became a bit confused between playing and overplaying. We lost the ball, they broke against us, and the best element of their team punished us.
And also, of course, you seem to have got that buzz back which comes with week-by-week club management.
Well, yeah, I've always had the buzz. I mean, it's irrespective of what people feel. I mean, everybody knows where I've been, I've said that before. Sometimes people forget that for about 16 years before England, I was in football as well. So I've always had the buzz, and I've always had an enthusiasm for it. When things don't go well, as they didn't go for England, then, of course, the spotlight is very much on you. But as I've said earlier, I'm a football man, and I'm back in football on the club on a day-to-day basis. And that's me, John. I have an enthusiasm for it.
Well, David, quite a week for you. I mean, if it's possible to reflect on what's happened Wednesday and Saturday, how would you sum it all up?
I suppose highs and lows of football, really. To go from scoring against England on my first game against England was absolutely magnificent, and then for the lunatics to spoil it, and then to come back today and knock one of my old clubs out of the FA Cup is, you know, brilliant. Highs and lows in 1 week.
What were your feelings when the referee suddenly had to take the 2 teams off on Wednesday night?
I think, to be fair, I don't think anybody really thought it was that serious, you know, that we could get it under control and we'd maybe back on after 5 minutes, but it soon became, you know, apparent that it wasn't going to happen, and, you know, the thugs won really for 1 game.
And I suppose the players will just look at it and say, well, unfortunately, it's something that's still with us.
Yes, I mean, in the English games, in the English grounds, we don't really see anything like that, you know, that, in all due respect, the Irish police wasn't expecting it, you know, and a minority of lunatics spoiled it for everybody.
Certainly did. Out of interest, does that goal he scored against England stand in his record?
Sadly, I wouldn't have thought so, because every abandoned game I've played, the goals haven't stood. I think they're actually awarding caps, but I don't know who eventually has to decide whether it stands as an official international or not, but I wouldn't have thought so.
Pity for him, but he certainly scored a cracker today.
He did, and he played well. In fact, him and Goodman were quite a handful for Leicester up front. This was Kelly's first chance. Venus comes in here and he shot. And Kelly, as you would pick him up in the centre, does everything a striker should do. He's on the move before Paul drops the ball, just taking the gamble that he might just drop it, and that's how you score goals. Wolves playing Graham Taylor's direct style, and Goodman does a lot of the work for Kelly. You see him getting down wide, gets good balls into the box, and Kelly's in the box again, moving around trying to find space. Doesn't find him on that occasion. And then here's the goal. Willis, bad defending, dives in there, commits the cardinal sin of defending on your backside without the ball. But Kelly takes advantage of it. Beautiful ball. Again, Goodman's in a wide position, who looks up, picks him out, and Kelly, who's broke his neck to get back in the box there, he's absolutely sprinted to get on the end of it, and a terrific goal.
What surprised me about Kelly, people don't seem to have faith in him at the top level in the Premiership. He's played in the Premiership, of course, with West Ham.
He has, but he's only played 25 games in the Premiership. And it seems as though he's been labelled as a player that can do it in the lower divisions, but not in the Premiership. But his goal-scoring record for Ireland is practically a goal every other game, so it suggests perhaps he can, and I'm sure he's hoping that if Wolves do go up, he'll get the chance to stay with them.
Well, you look good today. What about your old club, Leicester, though?
Well, I mean, Leicester are right at the bottom of the Premiership. They've got a new manager, Mark McGee, who really believes in playing football. His team's changed their style from Little, who was a little bit more direct. They're knocking it about, but I think they'll have to probably go down. But I think in the long run, that's probably the best way forward, and I think that they've got to go down to come back up.
Everyone's looking at this boy, Mark Draper. People talking about £3 million for him.
He's a good player. He's got a lot of ability. Clubs are looking at him, which always happens with Leicester, and it's my club, so hopefully we'll keep him. But
happened with you.
It happens with every player they get. But he's clearly gifted. He's got good touch, technique, and he's determined as well. As you see, he's got two players against him, but he comes out with the ball. He's got awareness, lays it off, and goes to return, but gets fouled on this occasion. Today he was actually playing in a more forward role than I've seen him previously. He's on the edge of the box here with his back to goal. Turns Gordon Cowes, little shimmy, gets to the byline, and this was Leicester's real chance. Great pullback, and Mark Robins, one thing you never want to do is put it over the bar, but he's a good player with a big future.
If they've got ambition, they want to hang on to him, don't
well,
they?
Exactly. Unless you've got a Jack, whether it's a Walker or a Hayward, it doesn't seem that for clubs like Leicester it's possible to compete.
Thank you, Gary. Now, on Wednesday night, the hooligans deprived us of assessing Matt Le Tissier's England qualities. His value for Southampton, of course, has proved priceless. What could he and they do in their tie against the in-form Spurs? At White Hart Lane for us, Barry Davis.
Both would grace Wembley. Both have brought sunshine into football's winter of various discontent. But either the exciting German poised to become captain of his country, or the gifted and different Channel Islander, whose international career was mugged by some of the thugs of society on Wednesday, will be gone when round 5 is all over. Spurs go into the match as favourites, with the 10 joining Jurgen Klinsmann, unchanged from last Saturday. Game 17 under Jerry Francis, looking for victory number 10. Southampton support for Matthew Le Tissier is strengthened by the return from suspension of Francis Bernardi. Jason Dodd drops down to substitute. They won the last cup meeting between the two here, and they also won in the league in September. Schoolmaster from Harrow, David Ellery, is the man in charge. On really a spring-like afternoon in North London. So Campbell, who is in Dublin for the first time in the England squad. Well played Madison again. Shipley, turn around Calderwood. Magilton finds Kenner. And well. Magilton. Heaney beaten to it by Campbell. Can try again. Off Howells. Anderton. All being rather misdirective. And that was a bit fortuitous too. Good flick on by Shipley. Magilton. Great start. Oh, crossbar from you-know-who. Brilliant play. And Spurs really needed to sort themselves out there for quite a long time. And in the end, it was Letizia who worked his first piece of magic. Pulled beautifully away, and off the crossbar with Walker beaten. Letizia takes the resulting corner. And 21 goals he scored, so near to being 22. Space on the right for Kenner. Edinburgh gets across. Played in early. Neat and effective flick by Mabbott. Edinburgh encouraged to get on with it by the crowd. Magilton. Shipley. Heaney far side, not being too well watched. Good job there was nobody centrally placed from Tottenham's point of view. Wasn't really much out of the course for him. He was quite a long way over. And Walker gets away with losing it. Cow's header. Lovely turn by Letizia. Plenty of room to move into. He's only got Shipley up. Now he's got support on the left side from Heaney. Chilton is up as well. And Heaney gets up to find that he's been given the free kick. Cowell, the back of those three. Shipley and Hall, the other two. And it's just wide. And he's very unlucky, Richard Hall. Two near things for Southampton. Lovely free kick that he came onto. And it was this close past the post. Klinsmann running on, and Gobelin committed, and Klinsmann has put Tottenham in front against the run of the play. But his 20th goal. And Spurs lead in the 20th minute. Nodded on by Sheringham. The goalkeeper came out, not quite sure whether he made that right decision. Well, when you see the result of it, you would say it was the wrong decision. He didn't get there. And there was a huge empty goal for Klinsmann to find, which he did. Shipley. Madison. Kenner. He was blocked on the edge. That's a penalty. Against Edinburgh. Did not play the ball, Edinburgh, and the penalty given immediately. Challenge on Kenner. Referee looked, pointed to the spot. Southampton with the chance of an immediate reply. Well, arguably the contact was made outside the area, but a penalty has been given. Certainly there was no attempt to play the ball. Letizia, the man who doesn't miss from the penalty spot. And although Walker got across to it, he maintains that record of only ever once having missed. 34 now out of 35. So both the top scorers for the two clubs have scored. Walker was a little unlucky, even if he did move his feet before the ball was struck. Anderson. Hall. Runs through. This is Bambi. Going the long way around. Anderson. Sheringham wants it far side. Oh, that swerved enormously. It was a good recovery by Bruce Gobelin. started to go right. Tizier. Oh, amazing. Shipley in the middle. Heaney over the left side. This is Heaney. Good block by Campbell. Magilton. Klinsmann. Calderwood. Every Southampton player behind the ball. Sheringham. Pescu. Sheringham again. And Klinsmann trying to get to it. And Moncao bumping into each other, and the yellow card is shown to Jurgen Klinsmann. Even Grobbelaar shakes his head. Moncao. Calderwood. Opted for safety. Ball wouldn't bounce up for him to make a header. Clearly thought that his opponent was too close for the back pass. Anderson offering himself. Finale. And the last action of an interesting half in which Jurgen Klinsmann gave his side the lead against the run of play, but almost immediately a penalty scored by Matthew Le Tissier squared it at 1-1, and I think on point Southampton had the better of it. Well, everyone will remember the three special moments from Matthew Le Tissier in the first half. I think it's worth pointing out the performances of Maddison, Magilton and Heaney and company. Pretty important to the situation they now find themselves in, 1-1. There have been a few complaints in the dressing room that they weren't actually ahead. This is Bambi. Klinsmann. Jeff Kenner. Son has now come down behind the stand. Jerry Francis's team have tended to up the pace in the second period, the matches that I've seen them play. Pescu. Bambi away from Widdrington. Maddison. The face of Shipley. And here is Teddy Sheringham. Took it on his side. Klinsmann! Well, again, the quick prod of the foot, but what good play by Klinsmann. Off the post, the goalkeeper beaten. He really is so very good at that. Hits it almost off the wrong foot, and what you're not expecting, suddenly the outside of the boot. Sheringham won it again. And Francis Benali did well to get ahead of the pack. Spurs corner. Calderwood forward to his usual position on the line. Maverick comes behind him and stands shoulder to shoulder. Met by Hall. Barnby. Anderson. Giving it back by Magilton. Anderton looking for the shot. Couldn't quite find it. Couldn't find the space for it. Calderwood did. But it was off balance and going away. He's spinning off the boot. Not going to trouble Bruce Grobbelaar. Well picked out, Howells to Campbell. 3 in the area. Klinsmann, Popescu, good block, Maddison. Good crossfield ball, good run in. And the flick that looked as though it was going to set up a scoring chance for Popescu, blocked by Maddison as Popescu struck the ball. The contest and still all to play for. And both sides off in search of it. Nick Barnby. Popescu. Good positioning. Well claimed off his body from Mabbutt's shot. Gary Mabbutt scored at Sunderland. And tested Grobbelaar here. Played it very well, having lost it briefly. Again, Heaney and Campbell. And company one with the other. Magilton. Shipley runs across the area, coming up at the back. Letizier, behind him, Kenner. Maddison. Given the time, didn't use it. Into the last quarter of an hour. 1-1 the score. Kenner. Allowed to get the cross. Goal kick. Shipley disappointed about that. But the referee's verdict is that he got there first. But the cross shouldn't have been made. Shipley. Needed the touch from Howells. Sol Campbell. Barnby nicely left by Howells. Edinburgh gets through. By Lackland judgment, but that wasn't. It came off Hall. Still Edinburgh. Still Edinburgh. Klinsmann. Justin Edinburgh's best moment of the match. Not too much doubt about which was his worst. But he did well, he rode his luck. Klinsmann couldn't quite do what he wanted to do. Anderson. Mabbutt. Kenner finds Letizier. He's got 3 around him. Whisked it away from Mabbutt. Shipley. Still Shipley. Goal kick. Barnby. Good challenge again, Moncala. Edinburgh. Tissier, captain, in the right-back position, not for the first time. Referee encouraging Jilton to get on with it. Howells. It will be a replay. Jerry Francis and Alan Ball will meet again at the Dell on St David's Day. Matthew Le Tissier gave us moments to remember, might have scored early on with a piece of pure magic, did score from the penalty spot, equalising the goal scored previously by Jurgen Klinsmann. The penalty coming as a result of Edinburgh's challenge on Kenner. 1-1 is the final outcome.
You went behind having been on top, but it didn't last very long, did it?
It didn't, and I think it was justice, really, because we dominated for about 20 minutes, and I thought, well, we've got to score a goal here to capitalise, and then we went behind, not to good football, to be due respect. It was a long kick, and they were through, and the fella is very sharp, Klinsmann, very good player, and I thought, oh dear, here we go, and we got straight back into it. It must have been the quickest recovery ever.
They're a good, hard-working side. I think they've been now 9 or 10 games, 11 games without defeat, drawn a lot of them, and working very, very hard for Alan Ball. From our point of view, we really have to just step that up a little bit, and hopefully we can find a little bit more space at the Dell.
Well, Klinsmann gashed an ankle, but should be fit, they say, for Germany against Spain in Jerez on Wednesday, and incidentally when Spurs have got a match at Newcastle. But we're expecting a classic from that match, Alan. It didn't quite turn out that way.
No, it was a very physical game. Tottenham really didn't get going, but I thought Southampton played very well. They denied Tottenham quality players time and space to play, and they played quite well themselves, and I think they deserved a draw. The tie is still wide open.
All the important action happened in 1 minute.
In 1 minute, yeah. A good goal by Klinsmann. Sheringham flicks it on. Klinsmann leaves Moncow. Bruce Grobler comes a bit too far off his line, I think. Makes it easy for Klinsmann. But he's a sharpshooter and he does well there. This is Southampton's penalty kick. Kenner comes past Edinburgh. For me, it's well outside the box. And the referee gives the wrong decision here. I think even Kenner made the most of it. But this guy doesn't miss from the penalty spot. He's got a terrific record.
We better have your regular bulletin on Le Tissier's performance, I suspect.
Well, he was a mixture of brilliance and totally ineffective. For me, he didn't do enough in the game, but I just like being critical of Matty.
Of everybody.
I mean, this play here is just is world class. The touch, the control, touch again, and then the half volley. And if that had gone in, it was definitely the goal of the season. It was just fantastic. This piece of play isn't far behind. Howells gets it, plays it deep. The control here is first class again. Sheringham takes in his thigh, good little touch inside. Klinsmann comes away from Moncow again, outside the right foot, and I think he's a little bit unlucky there because Bruce would have struggled to save that. But the tie's wide open.
Defensively, Spurs have improved, in your opinion, I know.
Yeah, I think that if you're talking about the two centre-backs, I think they're playing a lot better. Centre-back play is all about what they call one up, one round. The first man gets in a position, and the second man, if the opposition gets past the first man or the ball gets past the first man, he just covers round the back. Now, early in the season, Tottenham just weren't doing this. They were getting dragged, the two centre-backs, miles apart. This is against Leicester early on. Now, we've circled the two centre-backs here. It's Nethercott and Campbell. Look how far apart they are. And when Joachim gets past Nethercott, it's the man in the middle that's playing in the hole position, Calderwood, that tries to get back and cover because Campbell's just too far away from the ball. And Nethercott gets beaten, Calderwood can get back, and really that's a soft goal to lose. And it's just basic play, whereas today, Mabbitt's the first man in position, Calderwood gets round the back of him, nice little bit of cover, and it's very, very easy. It's just basic play. They really aren't doing anything clever. It's just fundamental stuff. And again, 4 months ago, I think Tottenham would have lost that game. But
one up, one round, you call it?
One up, one round.
I thought you were going to buy a drink.
Are you kidding?
He's a Scot. He's a Scot, Des. Come on.
Right, now Watford against Crystal Palace. In the Watford goal, Kevin Miller was hoping to create club history with Watford's 9th clean sheet in a row. Palace had their top scorer, Chris Armstrong, back after suspension. The commentator, Tony Gubber.
Holsworth is a powerful header. Shaw, facing his own keeper, will have to use him. Gibbs knocks it on. Humphrey. Just puts it into the crowd, and Watford are just beginning to get a grip of the game. Here's Ramage. Trying to find help from somewhere, and he finds Payne. Oh, a little back heel was well delivered, and it was a super shot from Ramage. What a nice bit of football. Ramage again. Well, with the first quarter of the match played, that's the best strike that either team have had on target. But it was the little back heel, really, to set up Craig Ramage, which was the quality there. And then he couldn't have hit it any harder. It just cannoned straight off the chest of Nigel Martin. Palace felt they were so unlucky to concede that goal at Anfield in the Coca-Cola semi-final on Wednesday. Well, you can't blame him for having a crack. He got a hat-trick recently. Darren Baisley playing up front because Glenn Roeder hasn't really got the checkbook, which would bring him a quality striker. Misunderstanding with Gibbs. And Holdsworth went right through with the challenge. David Holdsworth, whose own career was interrupted by a serious knee injury 3 years ago. Glenn Roeder had a grandstand view of it. It was right in front of him.
Okay now, keep it short now. Keep it short.
Knocked up by John Humphrey. Again, Foster the tallest man, but it fell for Darren Pitcher. That'll be a corner. Coleman, and again, Patterson. And Watford had enough bodies in the way to save the situation. Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. Priest. Foster's challenge. Concedes a throw. He is a big boy, isn't he? The balloon on the pitch, confusing 1 or 2. In by Gordon. There's Foster. Comes out to Gordon again. Salako tells him he wants it, but he's ignored him. Patterson. Now Richard Shaw. Palace have still got a lot of players in forward positions, and finally it does arrive at Salako. Whistle's gone, free kick. The culprit, and having used his left foot from the far side for the corners, Salako now to use it again from this free kick. Good header, hit the post, Southgate, great save. Patterson, and Payne has put it behind, but a combination of the woodwork and excellent goalkeeping denied Palace a score and keeps Watford's proud record intact, so far anyway, of not having conceded a goal this year. And it's another corner for Salako to swing in. Patterson over the top of him. And Pitcher's effort greeted with derision from the home support, but they will be mightily relieved that the Watford goal survived. Southgate's header had beaten the keeper, but he was so quick to be aware of the danger from Priest. And Palace are just winning the tackles as we approach half-time. Salako, driven in hard. It wouldn't have beaten Miller and found the net. He seemed quite confident of where he was. Might actually have taken his arms away. Who's forayed all over the field, plays in a position just ahead of the 2 midfield players for Watford, Payne and Porter. In by Gibbs, but Morley's run had been a across to the near post. Watford last reached the quarter-finals of the FA Cup in 1988. And certainly the season has turned around for them, having been bottom after 3 matches. Gordon. Oh, it was well struck. Well, it was a very good effort, which Miller was glad to field. Priest didn't waste any time in hitting that. And anywhere other than right at the keeper may have caused embarrassment. And they never really had a good position from which they could deliver it. Salako keeps his balance. He's got Armstrong out wide and he's got it to him. Good attack for Palace here. Well, when you look at players immediately after that ball flashed over the crossbar, Palace had one on the near post and they had one on the back post, and I think they're just asking Armstrong why he didn't try and pick one of them out. It's been a typical cup tie battle. It's Watford's ball according to the linesman, but it's Palace's ball according to the referee. Salako will take it. Oh, that's a good throw. Here's Pitcher. Driven in. Foster put his foot up, but he just got a connection which lifted it over the bar. And a deflection that could have gone anywhere. Salako will take the corner. There are plenty of Palace players in there, but again, Miller has claimed it. And when he's had to be positive and strong, he has. Player whom Watford bought from Birmingham for £250,000 in August. Well, Richard Shaw let it bounce over the top, and here's Ramage. Over the top to Watson, it's just picked up a bit of pace. But it was a momentary threat to Palace, who, remember, were beaten at Anfield in midweek as a result of a goal in added on time. The first leg of that League Cup semi-final, the second leg of which comes up next week. Coleman. And Watford's proud record of matches in which they haven't conceded a goal has continued. It's 9 games and 9 consecutive clean sheets, and Keith Miller, the goalkeeper, was very much one of the significant reasons for that this afternoon. Not only with the saves, which at times weren't that spectacular, but his general handling of the ball. And a record which was set in 1949 of 8 consecutive matches without conceding a goal by Watford is now extended to 9 in 1995. Full time here is Watford 0, Crystal Palace 0.
Alan, a word from you about the pitch, because it wasn't the sort of surface on which players could really let the football flow, was it?
No, I mean, every time you went to cross the ball or shoot, it bubbled, and same for both sides, in fairness. It wasn't just us, but really I'd have said that was unacceptable for the standard we're playing at. But as I say, let me emphasise, it was the same for the Watford players as it was for our players.
You seem to have a goalkeeper who commands his penalty area and who's at one with the defenders ahead of him.
Kevin's got a lot of presence in and around the place, that's without playing football. And of course, within a few games of playing at the club, the players knew he was a good keeper. When they know that, they play much better when they've got confidence in their goalkeeper, knowing that if they were to get the opposition, that is a header in or a shot, Kevin's going to make the save.
Well done. That's a proud record for Watford now. 9 consecutive games without conceding a goal.
Yeah, we battle well as a team, and like you've seen today, they never really had too many chances, and I've kept them out. I mean, that's 9 in, I think, like 12 games or something like that now. So I mean, it is a nice record, but I'd rather have won the game.
Right, now Ray Stubbs reports on the all-London tie between QPR and Millwall at Loftus Road.
Just couldn't get past Millwall's American goalkeeper Casey Keller. The save from Simon Barker was his best in the first half. And there was more of the same in the second half. When Les Ferdinand challenged for David Bardsley's cross, Keller was needed again. Although a second look reveals that on this occasion, perhaps he prevented an own goal from Damien Webber. He was needed on other occasions too. But Millwall just never stopped working. Both Arsenal and Chelsea had fallen to them in the FA Cup already, and when it's still 0-0, anything can happen. Millwall very nearly pulled off a remarkable coup by snatching the lead. Andy Roberts slammed the ball against a post, and at that stage, with only 8 minutes to go, it could well have been a Millwall match winner. For sure, it shocked Rangers, but if they became anxious, it didn't show. They kept probing, Keller kept saving. This time from Kevin Gallen, whose market value goes up by the week. The replay arrangements were ready to be announced when the dramatic finale came about. In injury time, Rangers once again played the ball into the penalty area. Alan McDonald and Webber challenged. It was Webber's arm that made contact. Penalty, said referee Philip Don. Millwall's frustration was understandable, but the handball decision looks to be the correct decision. An injury time penalty, but if Clive Wilson was nervy, he didn't show it. The quarter-finals of the Littlewoods Pool-sponsored FA Cup include Queen's Park Rangers. There was hardly a hint of crowd trouble, but an unfortunate fact of footballing life is that a massive police presence guaranteed the day wouldn't end on a sour note. It's a sad testament to the situation football finds itself in. I understand the reasons why, said Millwall chairman Reg Burr, but doesn't it look awful, he said. Everyone agrees.
I think we had to have that policing here today. We wouldn't have wanted to have it here. We had Millwall here last year in the League Cup, and there wasn't an ounce of trouble. They conducted themselves in a wonderful manner, as did our supporters. And today was exactly the same. But I think after Wednesday, unfortunately, we had to take those precautions. And let's hope that we don't have to see those precautions taken again.
Millwall never know when they're beaten, do they?
Well, I think I was probably more edgy today than I have been ever since I've taken over. I felt we had enough chances to win the game. Casey Keller was in wonderful form, made it very difficult for us. But in saying that, we kept plugging away, and that's what the Cup's all about, is having a go for 90 minutes. Alan McDonald ends up in the box. What on earth he's doing in the box, I've no idea. But he causes the lad to handle the ball, and I felt for the chap. He had a good game, Webber, at the back for them, and I felt for him. But if someone's going to take a penalty for you in the last minute, I wouldn't have wanted anybody else apart from Clive Wilson.
Ray Wilkins edgy? Never. Well, Everton also booked their place in the last 8 by beating Norwich 5-0 at Goodison Park. Goals came from Limpar, Parkinson, Rideout, Ferguson and Stewart. While Everton manager Joe Royle celebrated, Norwich boss John Dean called the defeat the lowest point of my managerial career. And you'll see those goals in our programme tomorrow afternoon. Well, there were 2 Premiership games today, including the first for Ron Atkinson as manager of Coventry.
Ron Atkinson quickly demonstrated that 3 months out of football hadn't dampened his sense of humour. After today's victory, he said that will make Blackburn tremble. His appointment had put an extra 3,000 fans on the gate. The new manager had had to shuffle his pack. Mike Marsh was playing up front, and he delivered the cross for Peter Unlove to score his 5th goal of the season. The Coventry captain, Dion Dublin, then showed nice skills in starting the move for Coventry's second. Peter Unlove repaid the compliment for Mike Marsh, who scored his 1st goal since joining Coventry from West Ham. So a win for Ron Atkinson, but 13 points cover 11 teams.
Big result for the club, big result for the players. Enjoyed tonight, and then on Monday back to business for next weekend.
What's it like being back in business again for you?
It's still a lot better than work. Nothing changes. You still get the buzz coming to the ground. I mean, we changed the build-up a little bit. I took them away to quite a nice hotel last night. In fact, it was a blinding hotel, and we'll be there next week. Brought them in, got the club bus and came in and tried to make a little bit of an event of it, and players have responded very well.
2 good goals?
Great goals. I mean, when I say great goals, not spectacular, but incisive, some good build-up play, some good breaks, and two good final passes, particularly the one of Mike Marsh's for the first goal.
Ron Atkinson's former club, Aston Villa, are climbing nicely. They're in 9th place tonight after their victory at Hillsborough. The win was secured by Dean Saunders. Dwight York was involved in the opening goal. From his own half, his positive run took him deep into Wednesday territory. Former Sheffield Wednesday player Ian Taylor then played his part, and Saunders wasn't going to miss from there. A goal just before the interval is always an excellent time to score, and Aston Villa enjoyed their half-time cuppa with a 2-0 cushion. Steve Staunton providing the cross, and how about this from Dean Saunders? Sheffield Wednesday came back into contention with 20 minutes remaining. Mark Bright scored his 11th goal of the season, but Aston Villa hung on and they've lost just once in 10 matches.
Coventry's win moves them to mid-table. West Ham are still in the bottom 4. Well, tomorrow, of course, our live cup tie, a meeting with a good deal of football history behind it. A bit silent there. As well as Manchester United against Leeds, we'll have the goers from Liverpool, Wimbledon, and Newcastle, Manchester City, which are also being played tomorrow. Plus, of course, the 6th round draw. What do you feel about the big one tomorrow, then?
Well, huge incentive for both clubs. The club line will be take every game as it comes, but it's just around about this time I always start to think about the Twin Towers, and whoever wins this game tomorrow can go all the way.
Yeah. And you'll be doing the radio, Gary?
Oh, well, that's a very nice
plug. You got a plug for his programme again, yeah?
I'm sure everyone will be
you'll be
listening to that rather than
everybody will be with us on television, but you'll be doing the radio, Gary. So, there we are, a mixed week.
The radio, Gary.
It's been a mixed week for David Kelly. Of course, on Wednesday he scored against England, but the hooligans denied that joy. Today he scored a cracker against Leicester City, which put his team into the last 8 of the Cup. Good night.
Sheridan. He plays in Kelly. He scores!
Oh, it's a good dummy by David Kelly. Took him beautifully away from Willis. This is Goodman. Kelly's continued his run in the centre. He's the only one who's there at the moment. Kelly! Fantastic goal! Absolutely brilliant goal!
And football managers Dave Bassett, Mick McCarthy and Barry Fry kick about with Danny Baker next here on BBC One.